Hello Gophers. Today we'll be learning about the first steps towards building your microservice based architecture using Golang. The first step involves how to create an authentication service. Before we move forward, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also press the bell icon so that you don't miss on any important notification about the new videos that we put across in the same series or any new series that we are going to release in future. Some of you who are new to our channel would be surprised to know that I have already done a detailed video on how to use JWT token to do authorization and authentication in Web API. If you have not watched that video yet, please click on the I icon on the top where I have linked that video so that you can have a detailed understanding of how we can use a JWT to authenticate and authorize a user. Now, creating an authentication service is a basic three-step process. The first step is finalizing a code architecture. Now, finalizing a code architecture, you have to keep few points in your mind. First one is you don't have to create a very complex code architecture that is hard to maintain for a longer period of time. You have to create your code architecture that suits your functionality to the best, and it should be flexible enough so that you have different exposing mechanism that you can implement any day without harming your inline services or inline logic to the code. Now we'll create a REST endpoint that helps us take in the user credential, validate those user credentials and generate a JWT token for the user. We'll create a method that helps us to validate the token and return claims from it. Now this method to validate is not exposed using the REST endpoints because we'll be using gRPC to access this method, but that we'll discuss in later part of the series. The code architecture that I follow in my authentication service is I'll have different packages, namely command, models, router, handler, services, repository, and token. Each one of them is used for the separating out the functionality. So CMD is used for separating out all the type of exposure mechanism that we implement, like API, gRPC, or anything. Model contains all the models that we have. Router is registering all the routes available in our application, and those routes would have their own handler functions. Those are kept in the handler package. Now this handler package would take out the request models and give it to the service methods. Now the service method would again call the repository in case it wants to interact with the database, or with the token package in case it wants to generate the token or validate the token. So now let's have a look at the code and let's understand how we have created the API and the validate token function. Now let's have a look at the code that we have used. So this is the api.go, which is the main package definitely. Now in this I have passed some flag which are taking in the IP and the port from the user. Then I have created a logger and I have injected that in the router package for us. So I've used the dependency injection to some extent, but not completely and not to the great extent, but yes. So in the routers package, so using the new router method, I've passed in the dependency of logger and flags. So if you see, I have got the logger and the flags. This I have again used to create the handler that will have to handle you for the routes, and then initiated a model a struct for the login route. Now this login route struct is then used to get access to the function that is register route. So I've got the register route which registers a route that is login route for us and uses the Gen framework to create REST API. Now, if you don't know about Gen framework, I have again a series on how to create REST APIs using Gen framework, and that's there on the I icon. You can have a look at it in case you want. So this Gen engine, it would return, and then we would start the Gen engine on the URL that is being passed from the flags. Now, if you have observed in the router that we have registered in the route that we have registered, we have also mentioned the handler function. So it's in the login handler. So this is a login handler function which takes out the login request parameter, that are the credentials from the request body, and in case if it is an error, it would do all kind of error handling and then call the service method. Now this service method would again validate the token from the database or from the repository and then generate the token using the token package. And if we get the token successfully, then it is okay, we'll return an okay status, otherwise we'll return an error. Now this okay and bad request are two methods that I have already created in the common function just to have code more cleaned up. So this is an okay which would send in the status okay, otherwise a bad request would be sent. So from the handler, when we go to service, in service we have get token method that is actually calling the repository for us and validating the username password. If the username password are valid, then it would create a claims model and then generate a token for us. So in case we want to verify the token, so this would be a method that would be exposed to gRPC, not through REST API. So this is a validate token method inside the token package that we have. Now we have already discussed this validate token and generate token methods in detail in the JWT tutorial that I have already put in place. So in case you have not still watched it, you should definitely go ahead and watch that first, so that have a clear picture on what these methods would do and how these are generating the token for us. So if you see at the service method, I have generated the token and that gets returned back to the handler and handler returns back to the client. Now let's start the project and let's see how it is generating the token for us. And I have hard coded two users, not created the actual repository in some kind of database. So just to be having it simple. So here I have Steve who have a role of 1, 2, 3 and I have Mark who have role of 4 only. So let's call the REST API to generate the token for Steve. I have passed in the username password. So I've got the token for Steve. So in case I passed the wrong password, it should give me an error and it says the token is, so the credentials are not valid. Let's generate the password. So let's generate the token. So this is the token. Now in case you want to validate if the verify token method is working correctly, what I have done is I have already created an handler function just for time being, just to have a look till we don't have the gRPC implemented. We'll just register this route in the router so that we have a verified token route for us. Now let's stop the service and run it back. So now the service is running. Then you see that if I copy and paste this validate token, so this token into the validate token and send in, so it would send me the data of Steve because this token belongs to Steve, having the roles and everything. So in case the token is not valid, let's verify that part. I'll just do some mischief with the token. It says you are not authorized to access this part. That means it is validating the token to the best and our function is working. So we'll remove these endpoints for us right now. We don't want that to be exposed to the client side. And that's pretty much on the authentication service. In the next coming videos, we'll discuss about how to create the domain specific services, that is like employee and task, that we would be taking as an example for this series. So by now we have already completed how to create an authentication service, and now I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll discuss about the domains related services and how to create them, how to architect them, and how to decide what should go into one domain and what should go into another domain service. So thank you for watching this video. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also press the bell icon so that you don't miss on any notification on any new videos that we put across for this series, or we create new series for some kind of new topics. We would also like to hear from you guys in case you have some suggestions on how we can improve, or what topics do you want us to cover for you guys that could help you in improving somehow.